Hello my beautiful people, welcome back to the channel once again, Global Football View, where we talk all things football. But today we're going to do a video about Arsenal, the league leaders who are on top of the table above Manchester City with 8 points currently, but they have a game in hand. So this video I want to talk on how Arsenal are going to win the league with just 6 wins from the remaining 10 games. Surprising, a lot of our fans have been saying it's Arsenal league to lose. If Arsenal lose the league, they would bottle the league. But I don't really think that way, because Manchester City, before the starting of the season, had everything in place to win the league and also the Champions League, and even go on to win all the competition which they are competing in this season. And currently Arsenal topping them with 8 points or the game in hand. And a lot of people are saying Arsenal must win the league, not forgetting most of these fans never really thought Arsenal were even going to make top 4 this season, but currently now they're saying Arsenal must win the league. But that's not to be true, because currently Arsenal has overachieved on their target for the season, because currently they sit on 69 points above Manchester City, who now sit on 61 points. So this video is dedicated on how Arsenal can win the league with just 6 wins from their remaining 10 games. Surprising, I know a lot of you are confused. How is that possible? How can Arsenal win the league with just 6 wins from the remaining 10 games? Manchester City are behind them with 11 games to play. So how is that possible? So this video I'm going to break down on how Arsenal are going to win the league with just 6 wins from their remaining 10 games. First thing first, like this video and share to your friends and all Arsenal fans worldwide so they can see and calm their nerves. Calm their nerves. The league is for Arsenal, and they're going to win the league with just 6 wins from the remaining 10 games. So let's dive into today's video properly. So on my start board here, I have Arsenal last 10 games and Manchester City last 11 games. So I'm going to give you a breakdown on Arsenal last 10 games. Arsenal will take on Leeds on the 1st of April. They're going to take on Leeds. Next match will be against Liverpool. Then take on West Ham, Southampton, Manchester City. Then take on Chelsea at Emirates. They'll take on Newcastle City away from home. Then take on Brighton at home. Nottingham Forest away from home. And their last match will be against Wolverhampton Wanderers. These are the 10 remaining matches for Arsenal in the Premier League this season. This video I'm just going to focus on the EP. I'm not going to focus on Manchester City run in the FA Cup or their run in the UEFA Champions League. So these are the 11 matches remaining for Manchester City. When Manchester City returns back from the international break, they'll be taking on Liverpool. Remember, Liverpool are one of the teams who took 3 points from Manchester City this season. So they'll take on Liverpool. Then they'll take on Southampton, who defeated them at the FA Carabao Cup. Southampton defeated the Carabao Cup. Then they'll take on Leicester City. Their game against Brighton has been postponed due to their commitment in the FA Cup semi-final. Then they'll take on Manchester City will take on Arsenal in the all-important game. This game for me is tagged the D game, the most important game of the season for Arsenal if they're going to win the league. Then after Manchester City play on Arsenal, they're going to take on Fulham away at the Craven Cottage. They take on West Ham at the Etihad, take on Leeds at the Etihad before facing Everton, the Sean Dykes Everton, who took 1 point from them at the Etihad also. Then the next game will be against Manchester City, against Chelsea, and the last game of the season will be against Brentford. Remember, Brentford were the team that beat them at the Etihad this season. So if you look at this list of fixtures, 3 of the teams that took points for Arsenal this season are among the 10 remaining games, and 3 of the teams that took off points from Manchester City are among these 11 games for them. So we're going to break down on how I think Arsenal are going to win the league. Firstly, Arsenal are taking on Leeds on the 1st of April, and Manchester City are taking on Liverpool same day on the 1st of April, but that's the early kickoff, 12:30 kickoff time. So if Arsenal are going to win this league with just 6 wins, they have to make sure, they have to pray and hope that Liverpool, who took 3 points from Manchester City at Anfield, can get a draw from this match. If Manchester City drew against Liverpool, then Arsenal have the league in their hands. Am I correct? Yes, I'm correct. if Liverpool can get a draw, not a win, a draw at the Etihad. Remember, Liverpool are fighting for top 4 to qualify for next season Champions League. So if Liverpool can get a draw from this match and Manchester City go on to win their remaining 2 games before playing Arsenal, that will give them 7 points before they play on Arsenal. While Arsenal, on the other hand, have 3 matches to play, or 4 matches to play before playing Manchester City. They'll take on Leeds United, which I'm backing them to win that game by take all 3 points. They take on West Ham. Arsenal have been very, very impressive in all the London derbies away from home. They have not conceded any goal and won all games with a clean sheet. And this is the last London derby for them in this season against West Ham, and they have been very, very impressive away from home. So I'm banking them to win that game also. And the game I'm seeing as the banana skin in this list of games, the game against Liverpool and a game against Southampton. The reason why I'm saying this, Southampton were the teams that took points for us from Arsenal in the first game. They drew that game 1-1. So Arsenal, we're going to take on that team also. And Liverpool, Arsenal has never won at Anfield for a very long time now. So that game, it's very, very dicey for me, and I think Arsenal may drop point there. But if Arsenal are going to drop points against Liverpool, it shouldn't be a loss. It must be a draw. So if Arsenal take 3 points from Leeds, take a point from Liverpool, beat West Ham, and win the game against Southampton, that will give them 10 points before facing Manchester City. And if you add that 10 points now to their 69 points, that will give them 79 points. You get that correct? 79 points before facing Manchester City. While Manchester City, on the other hand, they will be playing just 3 matches before playing Arsenal. Manchester City are currently on 61 points. If they are to draw against Liverpool, beat Southampton and beat Leicester, that will give them 7 points. And if you plus that 7 points to their 61 points, will give them 68 points. So Arsenal will be 11 points ahead of Manchester City before they meet each other, if all things go right. Now on this scale, now Arsenal will have 2 games. Arsenal would have played 2 games ahead of Manchester City. So now this is why I say the game against Manchester City is the D game. Arsenal do not need to win this match against Manchester City. They don't need to win that match. All they have to do is not to lose. And if they can draw against Manchester City at the Etihad, boy oh boy, now everything is set. So if Arsenal take a point from there, from the game against Manchester City, it will leave them at 80 points. 80 points after playing Liverpool, Manchester City, West Ham, Leeds United, Southampton. That's 5 games. So in these 5 games now, Arsenal need to take at least 3, 6, 7, 10, 11 points. Arsenal need to take 11 points from their first 5 games out of the 10. They need to take 11 points only. But that 11 points, they don't have to lose to Manchester City. So I'm giving them 2 draws against Liverpool and against Manchester City. And if they can get this right, 11 points from their next 5 games against Liverpool, West Ham, Southampton, Leeds United, and Manchester City. If they can get 11 points from that game, the league is done. Yes, I'm saying it utterly. The league is done, because that will leave them at 80 points, and that will also leave Manchester City at 69 points. So at the moment now, you see Arsenal are still topping Manchester City with 11 points, and Arsenal will be having just 5 games to go. Now remember, I said Arsenal are going to win the league with just 6 wins. So in their remaining 3 games for Arsenal, they need to win just 3. Yeah, just 3, and make sure they don't lose any of the remaining game. Yeah, Brighton at home, Nottingham Forest away, Wolves at home, Newcastle away, and Chelsea at home. So if they can get another 11 points from here, the league is done. So in all, I'm calculating Arsenal to get 22 points from their remaining 30 points available, barring not losing to Manchester City at all in this run of 10 games, because in this run of 10 games they don't have to lose to Manchester City, and also hopefully Manchester City do not win their remaining games, because if Manchester City draw to Arsenal and draw to Liverpool, then the league is not in their hands, and Arsenal has already created a buffer already for them to even at least make a mistake during the course of the remaining 10 games. They can drop points during the course of the remaining 10, but Manchester City on the other end cannot make that mistake. They have to be perfect if they have to win this league. Then if we take that first option, it will leave Arsenal at 91 points, meaning they took 22 points from the remaining 10 games, and even Manchester City go on to win their remaining 9 games and drawing 2 matches, that will leave Manchester City at 90 points. Now you see why I say Arsenal can win the league with just 6 wins and 4 draws. 6 wins and 4 draws. Those 4 draws has to be in between. They have to draw against Manchester City, which is the most important game. They don't have to lose to Manchester City, and make sure they win 6 of the remaining games, and hopefully Manchester City draw against Liverpool or any of the remaining games. Not forgetting Manchester City lost to Brentford this season at the Etihad. They drew to Everton at the Etihad, and they also lost to Liverpool at Anfield this season. These are the 3 games which I'm expecting them to drop at least a point this season before the end of the season. Then somebody might ask, what if Manchester City wins 10 games and draw at Arsenal? What do Arsenal have to do? Because if Manchester City beats 10 of the remaining opponents but they drew to Arsenal, that will leave Manchester City at 92 points. That is almost a near perfect 11 run of games for Manchester City, winning 10 games out of their remaining 11 games and just drawing to Arsenal. What does that leave Arsenal? Is this possible for Arsenal to win the league? Yes, it's possible for Arsenal to win the league, because if Manchester City win 10 out of the remaining 11 games and draw to Arsenal, it will leave them at 92 points. Not forgetting Manchester City, their maximum tally for the season cannot be more than 94 points. You get? So that will leave Manchester City at 92 points. So what do Arsenal have to do if Manchester City win 10 out of their 11 matches but they draw to Arsenal? I keep saying that game against Manchester City is the D game for me. Arsenal will make sure they don't lose that game. So what do Arsenal have to do? So this is what Arsenal have to do. Arsenal have to win 7 matches and draw 3. Can Arsenal win 7 matches out of the remaining 10? Yes, it's possible. Arsenal, let's take for instance the draw against Newcastle, draw against Manchester City, and draw against Liverpool. They have to win the remaining 7 matches. Yeah, they have to win the remaining 7 matches. So if Arsenal can win 7 of the remaining matches and make sure they don't lose to Manchester City, then the league is done. So my people, that's that. And not forgetting, the all important thing for Arsenal this season is not to lose to Manchester City. But even if they lose to Manchester City, according to what Thierry Henry said the last time they lose to Manchester City, now you have to calm your nerves. You have to go back to the drawing board and make sure you bounce back. And one of the important ingredients of this Arsenal team this season is that they come back from every setback. A lot of setback have been set against them this season. Nobody expected them to be in this position. Not even the greatest magician expected Arsenal to be fighting for the league title. Arsenal have not won the league for the past 19 years. You know how long is that? And Manchester City, on the other hand, have won 4 out of the last 5 Premier League So Manchester City have the experience, according to what the pundits are saying. According to Gary Neville, Manchester City are going to go on a 15 winning game run, and they're going to win the league with 15 points ahead of Arsenal. Those are bullshit for me, because currently Manchester City have just 11 games to go. Arsenal have just 10 games to go. But if Arsenal can go all the way out to win 8 out of their remaining 10 games, the league is done. But remember the title of this video: Arsenal winning the league with just 6 wins. And I've explained to you how Arsenal can win the league with just 6 wins by making sure they do not lose to Manchester City when they face each other at the Etihad. What do you guys think? Do you think Arsenal can go all out and win this league? Have this video been entertaining, or has it enlightened you and calm your nerves, you Arsenal fans? Manchester City fans, have this video stirred you more to be more scared of this resurgent Arsenal theme? Let me know in the comment below. Like this video. Let's get to 500 likes on this video, and hopefully see you in the next video.